So we first came up with the idea, it was probably close to 2 years ago. And for those people that don't know what we're talking about, it's Hardscape Paradise. It is an event that we are hosting, and we're super excited about it.
Welcome to the Sales Made Simple podcast. This podcast is dedicated to helping overwhelmed outdoor living professionals, landscapers, and hardscapers just like you increase your closing rate to over 75% without doubling your workload so you can build a seven-figure business that doesn't need you. I'm your host, Joshua Gillow. Let's dig in.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Sales Made Simple podcast. This is your host, Joshua Gillow. Today, I have Tanner Broughton on. And Tanner and I, we've been chatting for a few weeks now, back and forth. He's got some big stuff he's working on right now, not just for himself, but for the industry. And I can't wait to get into that. But so I want to say, Tanner, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Appreciate you putting me on and being able to chat a little bit more about what we got brewing over here. And really excited to bring it to the industry. Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. So.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. So for guys that don't know Tanner, tell us a little bit about your business when you got into it. I mean, I see that you set up shop in balmy South Dakota. I'm sure it's nice and warm there right now. So Tell me about how that is and how you got in this business and all that.
Yeah, a little bit about myself. Something that's interesting about me, I just turned 30 this year, but I've actually been in the industry for over half my life already. Started landscaping when I was 14. Worked for a local company within my hometown. They paid the best. And so for a summer job, actually in South Dakota, when you're 14, you can drive. And so I said, hey, I got to buy a truck and I got to have gas money. And so went after the job that paid the most. And I was like, well, I'll be a landscaper and then I'll, as everybody else or most people, your parents, they want you to go to school. And so went to college and continued to landscape throughout college. And then once I graduated from college, I was like, I still really didn't know what I wanted to do. And but I still had a passion for landscaping. I always got excited about getting back into the season. And so for when I was 22 years old, I still didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was actually working for a supplier. So I actually worked on the residential side throughout high school. And then throughout college, worked on the more of the supplier side, which is really cool. I like to talk to contractors and see what everyone was working on. But then when I was 22, I started my own company. It's almost like I needed a little bit of a bump from my parents. They're not entrepreneurs by any means, but I have some uncles that are entrepreneurs, and so I asked them a couple of questions, and it was almost like I needed that little assist out the door from my parents to say, "Hey, It's okay, go start your own thing." Yeah. And so started doing that, and haven't looked back. So this is year 8 of our contracting business, and I'm originally from South Dakota, so that's why I'm here. We love it here. We don't love the winters here, but it's been a great experience. I actually moved my company from Sioux Falls, South Dakota area, down to Sioux City, Iowa area. We're still in South Dakota, but it's a tri-state area. It's a very unique environment, like financially, because South Dakota, there's no income tax. But Iowa and Nebraska, there is. And so a lot of the surgeons and the doctors and everyone likes to live in this little tip of South Dakota. And so that's our market. So it's been a great market for us, and we really enjoy it. We have I have one crew right now. We're really getting close to getting to the 2 crews. And so that's kind of our next hurdle in our business. And we also just purchased a shop this year. So we're really excited about that, and got the shop right next to the interstate. So we're going to put some signage up. And we're just really excited for the next step and looking to see where the next 8 years of my business is going to be. Yeah.
I love it, dude. I love it. Yeah. It's so great because it sounds like so many others. I don't know that many. I know I certainly didn't grow up planning on becoming an outdoor living designer or construction. I didn't either. We kind of fell into it, right? I was in the garden center. People started coming in and asking for, hey, can your kids do this? Can they build that? And pretty soon we're like, well, yeah, of course. I mean, you're going to pay me to do that? Of course.
100%.
And then all of a sudden there's a business and it's making money and it just becomes your life. And it's really, it's quite it's a huge blessing. And it's nice that there's not a huge barrier to entry. It allows, good people to get in and just do good work. So that's awesome, man. So tell me about how the first years were, how you got going. Did you have any struggles when you first started out? I know we all do. Anything you want to touch on there that could help our listeners that might be struggling now?
Oh, definitely. I felt like when I first got started, as everybody questioned, they're like, well, where is my pricing at? Because I started off as a one man show, and I knew that was how my first year was going to go. I actually kind of started halfway through the season, so it's a little different, but I miss those days of having basically zero overhead. That was nice, you know, I didn't have to worry about a lot of things. But I also learned really quickly, like how powerful equipment can be. It was my second year of business that I actually rented a mini skid, and it was just so eye opening. It's like, okay, I think at the time the payment for the monthly was like it was like right around $2,800.
Mm,
But then I had looked at it, I'm like, well, what can I could buy two of these machines brand new, and my payment would
yeah.
still be less than that. And so that was right at the time we were running actually two summer crews at the time, and so we bought two mini skids and never looked back. Still have them today. So it was kind of there was a lot of lessons as far as with the equipment side and just getting more efficient, and just looking at those numbers. And once you're done with the job, backtracking and looking at all those things. But I had no idea where to price things out. I actually had a couple customers that were really close to me that had gotten bids from other people, and so I almost used that as a little bit of a ladder right away, which is not the right way to do it. But when you're just getting started, you're looking for any sort of way to see kind of where the rest of the market is. But yeah, learned a lot, and actually just recently we got on with synced up, so we're really excited for that journey with Weston.
Great.
And their team's been awesome. Talked with them at Hardscape North America. I got to meet the entire team basically,
Mm,
and I brought my entire team there too this year, which is really cool. It's a great environment to bring everybody to. So that'd be another thing that I would recommend to a lot of newer guys is get out and network and go to shows and educate yourself. I think that there's so much education there, and a lot of guys that are veterans are really willing to teach you and answer questions that you may have. So that'd be another big thing that I would totally recommend for a newer contractor getting started.
yeah. And I remember the early days, dude, where I'm talking like, oh, the early 2000s, like late 90s, early
Yeah,
2000s when I started, right? It's like you would go to a distributor and you would go to buy pavers or whatever, and it was like silence. It was like some kind of like Russian American kind of spy thing where like you wouldn't say what you were buying because you knew their competitors and they might be looking at what you were buying. And it was
yeah,
just so weird back then that you had to be so hidden. So just, yeah, it's not that way anymore. Thank goodness. There's a lot of people
yeah,
sharing now. A lot of the veterans really want to get out there and help out. They're sharing what they're learning, which helps the entire industry. Overall, it's a beautiful thing to see finally happening here, especially amongst
yeah,
men, because we don't talk a whole lot, right? So
yeah. I know.
it's good to see that. So if you could go back, you said you're 8 years in business now. If you could go back, start all over again, what's something you would do sooner?
Um, you know, I really enjoy talking with other business owners, even within our industry and outside of our industry, and just picking their brains a lot. So I think if you could maybe find a mentor or a business coach sooner, I think that you don't have to learn those hard lessons by yourself. And I think that it projectiles you to a whole nother level a lot faster. Just so you're not having to learn those hard mistakes on your own, but maybe somebody else made those mistakes and they can
Hmm.
educate you and get you off to the races on that aspect. That would probably be my main thing. But also like, you know, establish a great team. Thankfully, I've been very fortunate with awesome employees and team members throughout my company. I've had very few bad apples, which is I think a lot of guys they struggle with.
Hmm.
But I think a lot of that is like you reap what you sow, and um, the energy that you're bringing to your business, and like you are the head of your business, and you're the face of your business, and you set the tone for your business. And so I think you're gonna draw in what the vibes that you're putting off. And so I've been very fortunate. I was actually a wrestling coach. That's how I got my first employees. My hometown is a big wrestling town, and so I got to hand pick all my employees. I was like, okay, you show up on time for practice. You work really hard,
That's great.
and so that's how I got my first three employees in my business. Actually, was all wrestlers of mine who are all now they're out of college and they do really they do their own things, but they're very appreciative of everything that we did. And when we got started with a pickup and a dump trailer and a mini skid, and now here we are. So it's really cool to get that team aspect. But that'd probably be another thing is just focus on good people. You can always train good people, and that can really amplify your business and make you look more professional to your clients as well. So
Absolutely. And I love what you say there about finding a mentor early. I struggle with the same thing. I thought I knew everything, right? I thought I'd like, nobody can tell me anything. I'm doing it. I'm here every day. Like, what could they possibly help me with? And boy, did I realize I was wrong, right? So when you hire mentors and all that, you compress decades into days. You take 20, 30 years of experience and you might grab that in a few months. And you're like, wow,
Yeah,
okay, now who other's mind can I bring into my world and have them kind of improve it or even impact it as we move forward? And so different perspectives, as we have so many blind spots as business owners that we're not even aware of because we're busy, right? Trying to close
yeah,
projects, sell projects, get things done, keep homeowners happy, keep employees happy, keep equipment running, all of that stuff. We're nuts for what we do. Absolutely
yeah,
crazy. But there's nothing better than knowing that you are forging your own future, your own legacy, and that you have that ability to find freedom in life. Unfortunately, a lot of business owners, specifically in our industry, don't find freedom. They find a prison called a job, and they get
yeah,
stuck there and they're not making very much money, and their boss is a bit of an ass, right? So
yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
so it's really a matter of getting really clear on what you want, and then getting out there and finding people that can help you get there. So I love that.
Yep, 100%.
That's awesome, man. So what's next up for you? What are you guys doing over there this year? That you said new shop. What does that look like for you?
Yep. So we got a new shop that we actually close on in December, and so we're actually kind of on a couple rain days that we had. We all sat down with the team, and we're like, all right, where do we put the fuel? Where do we park the trucks? Where do we put the bins? Where do the pallets go? And so it's right on the interstate, so that's really exciting. We wanted to try to be on the interstate if we could, just for that free advertising. There's a billboard on there, which is a plus. That's another $600 a month. It's basically pays for the taxes in the building, which is
Nice,
nice. But yeah, we're just it's not going to be our forever home. I think eventually we really would love to have a showroom that people can come into, and then also have drive-through bays. But we had nothing before, and so this is a just shy of 5,000 square foot total
nice,
shop space. So we're gonna make it our own, and probably put like a break room, update the bathroom, and just make it a one-stop shop for our team that we can start the day, end the day. Because before we were kind of running all over the place and we were very inefficient. I had a piece of ground that we parked a lot of our equipment, and it was 6.5 acres that we could dump on. Eventually, I'd like to build a house there, but it'll take some time. And then we'd have like a storage unit over here that was 2 miles away, and then like suppliers were all over town. So it was just like we were kind of running around with our heads cut off a little bit, and I was just like, you understand that you're taking on that payment of a new building, but also it's like you realize how much more efficient you're going to be by
mm,
having everything in one spot, and I think that that's going to halfway pay for itself right
love
there.
it.
And so, yeah, so that's
How
that's
did
one
you?
thing I'm really excited about for this year. It's just those efficiencies and seeing like
Oh
what
yeah,
we were missing out on before, but before having a one-stop shop, building. So
100%. And when did you know it was the right time for you to invest in a yard, into an actual place? I know that was a struggle for us too. I haven't had the garden center, which was really nice. But if we wanted to put up a second place, it's like, when do you pull a trigger? For you, even to tell the listeners, like, what was it for you that said, look, I need to have a space now?
I think a lot of it was you want your guys to grow with your company. You want them to have the ability to grow within your company because I feel like once you stop growing, you're stagnant, you die. And some people might disagree with me on that, but I I always feel like everybody in your company needs to have something to look forward to and to pursue. And I felt like a building for us was kind of taking that next step and to get the guys that I'm training to be foremen and to have their own crews for them to have a home base for that when they have their own crews, and then we can start off in the morning and do our morning meetings and work through everything. It's just a much more professional environment, and so I wanted it for them, also for myself, because we have rain days, we have cold spells, and it's not so fun to be outside working on equipment when it's 10 degrees out and you're laying on the concrete or laying on a piece of gravel. And so it was a step that we needed to take. But I'll you gotta look at your finances too, and make sure that you can balance that payment and budget for that. But to us, it was just a no brainer. We've been looking for some time, but you got to get lucky on some of these things and some of these transactions, and we got pretty lucky. The timing wasn't what I wanted it to be,
Mm,
um, but it was kind of like, well, I can force myself into this position, and I can grow from there. And that's one thing I've learned about myself is sometimes I like to put myself back against the wall and figure out a way to scratch my way out of it. So
Yeah.
you have to figure out as a business owner what motivates you and
Mm.
what gets you going, what gets you to that next level. And sometimes you gotta put your own back against the wall. But yeah, so it was a good time, and we're really excited for the 2026 season to take that off, and we'll just be plunkering away at the shop, getting it exactly how we want it, and then I think it'll probably be a 5 to 10 year plan that will be there, and then we'll probably build as long as finances are looking good, and we kind of have a 10 year plan for the next location of everything. Still want to be next to the interstate, but like I said, we want to have a showroom that
Mm.
people can come in, feel pool coping, see the pavers, and just be able to have a full-fledged experience. We really want to have like a lighting room where we can turn all the lights off, and you can showcase different light fixtures. So then also maybe have like iPads or something that people can scroll through, pick their plants and trees, whatever, and who knows, AI might make a lot of this stuff really easy for us in the future. I've always told a lot of the local guys, I can't wait for like holographic 3D designs where we can just set it up in the backyard and you can
Yeah.
walk through your space before, like you could just start building sitting walls
Mm.
and water features, and here's your pool. Oh, it's 20 by 40. Perfect. Let's rearrange it like this. I mean, I think that before I retire is going to be a real possibility just with how
Yeah.
crazy technology has been. And so, I even just with AI, with your cell phone now, it's like it's eliminated for us a lot of the smaller like if you got a small front walkway with some steps, well, now you can take a picture of it. 5 seconds later, you can get 95% of what you were trying to get to the client in their head without having to go to your computer and start 3D designing. So
Mm.
that's one thing that's just crazy. That's really opened up a lot of avenues for us this past year. But yeah, it's technology. Just got to harness it, or just hang on for the ride, I guess. So
Yeah. You're either
AI is
gonna,
just
yeah.
kind of crazy.
Yeah, you're either gonna, go in there and embrace it and figure out how it's gonna help, or you're gonna ignore it and it's gonna take you
Yeah,
over. You're gonna have a choice because somebody else is using it and it's gonna be faster and more efficient.
100%.
So
Yep,
whether you like it or not, you still got to do it. So,
yep,
question for me is, I know you have a family, young family. How do you
yeah,
balance everything? So, tell us a little bit about your family and how long you've been married and all that kind of stuff. And how do you balance all this and growth and what we're going to talk about next, which is going to be pretty cool.
yeah, for sure. I think number one, I have a really supportive wife, and she helps out a lot. She's a teacher, and so she keeps me in line. My mother was a teacher. I come from a family of teachers, and I feel like teachers, they always have structure, and
Mm.
they're really good at what they do, and they're really good at giving direction too,
Mm.
whether you
Yeah.
like it or not.
Whether
And
you want it or
so
not.
yeah, but she keeps me in line, and I have two daughters. I have a 2 year old and a 1 year old that keep me on my
God bless you.
toes. And so yeah, I know we're gonna have more, but for right now we got to keep the daycare bill down. So we'll but we'll probably have another one in the next couple of years. But we gotta keep rolling, and we were just looking at a little bit larger home. We're good where we're at right now, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think just having a good partner, that is essential, and especially when you have your own business and you're working sometimes more than you want to work, but sometimes that's necessary especially with us being seasonal. Like my wife and I
Yeah.
have a game plan in the spring. Like, hey, these are the nights I'm gonna be going out and bidding and meeting with clients. Here's the nights that we have for family, and it'll slow down a little bit in the summertime and the fall, and wintertime is when we can kind of recoup and reset, and we like try to get some family vacations out of the way in the wintertime. And so yeah, it's really nice. So
Love that. And do you have any tricks or any rules that you have in your relationship to make sure that you're prioritizing time with your family and not letting work sneak in and take over?
um I wouldn't say it technically rules. I've always been good about not working crazy hours. I knew when I started my business that since I was 22, you got all the time in the world. You have very few responsibilities, and I knew that was a time where I had to really put my head down and you know build my business as much as I can. And that was those times where I could work on the weekends, I could work at night. Where now, once you have a family, you see the importance of
Mm.
being home and being a father. And I think a lot of people can relate to that too. I think it's hard when you don't have kids or you're not married. You don't quite understand all that. But once you grow up a little bit and you really see the importance and that you have to be home. And so it's kind of I would say an unwritten rule. We don't have any rules within our household like, hey, I got to be home by a certain time. But it's definitely a balance, and it's you got to have a solid partner to be able to make that team work. And because my wife needs time to do her things with her friends as well, and I got to be home, and so it's definitely a balance, and that's what happy wife, happy life. There's a lot of truth to that. So
I love it, dude. All right, man. So I'm excited to talk about what else you've been working on here for the last. How many months have you been working on this project?
So we first came up with the idea. It was probably close to 2 years ago. And for those people that don't know what we're talking about, it's Hardscape Paradise. It is an event that we are hosting, and we're super excited about it. I think it's going to be hopefully a takeover event for the industry that people can look forward to year after year. But we wanted to do something different. And a lot of people had asked me, why did you start this? Or why did you bring this upon yourself? It seems like it's all stress, and which it is some stress. But to me, it was a lot of the things that I love in life. I love going on vacation. I love heading to the Caribbean. I love going somewhere warm, especially from being from South Dakota. We don't push snow, and so it was a great opportunity for me to bring my team down and also to be able to network. And so I also love networking. So I love talking with guys like yourself, other guys in the industry, whether it's locally or even nationally, and now internationally, because we do have a couple Canadians coming. So,
Oh, sweet.
yeah, we're pretty excited about that. And so we have 23 companies right now, which we were hoping for more, but hey, you got to start somewhere. And I think that every year the word will get out. And I think really just this year is all about like proving ourselves that we can do it. Because I am a landscaper, I'm a hardscaper. I think a lot of people are like, man, can this guy really pull this thing off? But we're going to do it. We got a lot of awesome pieces in place, awesome speakers. And I think every speaker is going to be bringing something different to the table, and hitting on different areas. It's not like everyone's going to be talking about the same thing. So that's going to be really beneficial. But we're super pumped about it. Like I said, we love getting out of the house and getting out of the cold and meeting up with other industry professionals, and I'll call them influencers. I try to explain it to a lot of my friends that aren't in the industry, and they're like, "So you say influencers? Like, how many followers these guys have?" I'm like, "Well, within our industry, they're really popular. It's not like it's Kim Kardashian and what I mean, Channing Tatum, but it's there's some big names within our industry and guys that have been doing this for a long time that we're really excited about having them down. So." It's going to be a great event. We're really looking forward to it. We actually worked at it from the back end. So when I first started this company, I actually met up with my accountant, and I'm like, all right, hey, you're me. How would you do this based off the tax code? Because I wanted this to be a huge write-off opportunity for contractors. And, they could bring their family, they could bring their crew if they wanted to, and then they can write off their flights, write off the rooms, and write off the event fee. And so basically it'd be a vacation that they take every year. And another exciting part is we're going to be bouncing different locations. So it's not going to be in Cancun every year. It might be in Aruba next year. It might be in the Bahamas. So we're really excited about that. We're going to be voting on that the last night. But I guess what I was trying to say is we worked at it from the back way with my accountant, and we made it 4 days long so people can stay for 7 if they'd like to and be able to write off the entire 7 days. So I think you can write off 60% of your food or something like that. So keep your receipts for that, and you can take it back to your CPA and get a little write-off opportunity. So, but that's what we were looking for, is just networking, something completely different, because there's so many shows and events that happen in the Northeast, that happen in the Midwest, and it's just like, how about we escape the cold a little bit, guys? Like we can take a good group of guys down there or gals, and we can have a great time and have some fun in the sun, but also in a relaxed environment. If you want to have a cocktail in your hand and while you're doing it, perfect. No, that's always been my vision, and that's what we're looking forward to. So.
I'm excited. It's definitely awesome. I know when I first started seeing you pop up in social media and you're like, we're going to go to the palm trees, take hardscapers down, and we're going to do this thing. I'm like, that's ballsy, right? Yeah. I'm like, different country passports, and like, so that's why I'm like, I got to talk to this guy and see what he's up to. So it was a blessing.
There's a lot to it, but I think that once we can get it going, it's going to be great. So.
I love it. I love it. And after doing all these events that I've done, and I can feel you, bro. I can feel what it takes to do this. So, have you had some
Yeah.
challenges along the way? Has it been all easy street and everything just lined up, or have you had to make some
No.
hard decisions?
Yes. I'll say this. We've had probably like 2 or 3 times where we're like, oh man, do we throw the towel in? Like numbers weren't where we wanted them to be. And uh, we thought that we came in there with a great business plan, but I think a lot of the times when you're starting a brand new business, you get
Mm,
slapped in the face a couple of times. And so there was a couple of things that ended up being a lot more than we had budgeted for. One of those things being like audio and visual. We had
mm,
of course, the hotel. They only allow you to work with one audio visual company. You can't shop around if you wanted to. And so like that bid came in at $40,000, and I'm like, well, maybe for a huge event, that's not a huge deal, but when we're
yeah.
talking 23 companies, I'm like, you're not making any money if you're trying to make an event run. So it's just been things like that that we've had a lot of learning lessons. We've learned a lot about room blocks with hotels this year. That was, and you actually helped me out a little bit with the AI.
Mm,
You said you helped me out, which that did help me out a little bit.
good.
We did have to pay a little penalty to get our room block knocked down, but that was another learning experience that I
Yeah.
had. And I'm sure we're going to learn some more when we're down in Mexico. But like I said, get the mistakes out of the way, learn those hard lessons now, and then we'll have some pretty fruitful events for years to come. That's something that everyone can look forward to. Yeah, just have a great time at and be able to look forward to year after year after year, getting to see some of the same people, getting to see some new faces, but also growing the event into something that maybe we can expand to. Well, now we have a January one, now we have a February one, now we have a December one. If you want to get some year end tax deductions, but also
Yeah.
get out of the house and get out of the cold. So yeah, that's the ultimate vision of the entire thing. I could also see it being down the road, maybe 10 years down the road where we have it's more geographical. Maybe we have a East Coast, Midwest, West Coast, Canada, just so that even suppliers can, because there's a lot of people that are geographical with their businesses as well, like whether it's manufacturer or because like we don't have, say, Cambridge or Nicolak or certain brands like that in our area. So why would they want to come to an event where it's
Mm,
maybe primarily Midwest or West Coast or, a market that they don't quite hit? But maybe it also opens up the door to, well, we want to expand into this market. We want to expand into that market. And so we need to go
yeah.
to this event. So that's kind of our end goal. But for right now, you got to take it one step at a time, and just we're going to hammer on event one and make it successful and make it something that people can look forward to. And yeah, but yeah, we've had a lot of struggles, a lot of hard lessons learned. But you got to roll with the punches. You got to keep going.
You
And
do.
kind of my mindset was like, well, if we were going to cancel year one, then how does it look for year two? Who's going to trust us? And so that was my big thing. I'm like, let's just go with it. We got some awesome key pieces in place. We're going to make this thing rock, and it's going to be a great time. And the people that are going to be there, they're going to have a great time. It's going to be a very personal experience. You're
Yeah.
not just going to be a number. Like, you'll be able to talk to a lot of these big name guys in a small environment, and be able to get a lot out of it, I think. And so that's one
Yeah.
thing I'm really looking forward to. At first, I really beat myself up about the numbers, which everyone wants good numbers, but also it's going to be a lot more personal experience. Like,
Mm.
my mom always said, she's like, Tanner, if you would have went to a big university, you would have never graduated, but if you went to us, you went to a smaller university, and smaller class sizes, you're more of a name and not a number. And so, yeah, but yeah, so we're really looking forward to it. But
Yeah. What I like the most about when I looked at the itinerary in the beginning when you first started putting it out is the idea that you don't have it packed, right? You don't have like 16 hours worth of content, right? It's not like
yeah,
you're just listening to speaker after speaker, because you're right. This is more of a relaxation time. And I believe that some of the most important conversations happen next to the pool, that
yeah,
happened at dinner with people you don't know,
100%.
where they're not under
Yeah,
heavy stress, where they come in and they learn something new and then they break it down and they start talking more
yeah,
about how to apply it in their business. And so I love the openness of the plan that you have laid out for this, having a couple of speakers and then lots of time blocks available for people to do stuff. So that was definitely smart, because when it comes down to it, success leaves clues. And when we listen to other people who are further than we are in what we're doing, there's something in there that we can learn. And I love it. So do you have a list in front of you, at least maybe off the top of your head, of some of the speakers, because some of the listeners may not know who's coming?
Yes. So Josh is one of our speakers.
Thank you,
He's
sir.
going to be hitting on the sales, so we're really excited about that. We also have Dan Preston with Hardscape Mentor and Preston Hardscape Design. Got Phil Baylor. Love Phil. Love his products with Pave
Mm,
Tool. He's awesome. One of them, a guy that's a little bit more local to me, Craig Scheller. He
mm.
is. I call him like he's the porcelain guy. Like he's been hitting on porcelain for a long time. I think that's been a really I think a lot of contractors really struggle to, you know, they're fine with pavers, but when it gets to porcelain, it feels completely foreign to them. And so I think I want to get people more comfortable with the porcelain because I think that's going to be huge. It hasn't really hit my market yet, but I know it's hitting the coast. It seems like a lot of trends tend to work their way in. But then we got Frank Bork. Frank, he's an awesome business coach,
Yep.
and we're really looking forward to having him. And then we also have Bridge Media. They're going to be talking more about like not throwing your marketing dollars away, utilizing AI. Frank's also going to be utilizing AI. So I'm really excited about those aspects as well, like learning all these new systems and all these new apps and ways that we can really catapult our business to the next level. And because I know there's a lot of companies that are so old school that they're just going to get left in the dust. And if you can, you know, get on the coattails of this AI and hang on, you're going to be okay. So,
No, I
but
agree.
yeah,
And then
yeah, go ahead.
no, no. The nice part about the way you have it laid out is, oftentimes at events, you're hearing a speaker, the speaker's jumping out, heading back in a plane, doing the next event. You barely get a chance. You just see him on stage, you take some notes, and
Yeah,
that's it. We're here, you're gonna get the opportunity to sit down shoulder to shoulder by the pool, having a margarita or whatever, right? And be
for
able to
sure.
just
Yeah,
yes and be like, hey, you said something on stage that really sparked something in me. Can you tell me
yeah,
more about that? And that's what I love about the way you've laid this out.
yeah. It's so different, and that's what it's almost been a challenge in that aspect because
Mm,
we're technically I guess you could call it a pioneer in the industry. It's the first time it's ever been done. I know that there's
mm,
other like manufacturers that they'll you know they'll use this. I think Kitchler has done something very similar. Like you buy so many lights, and hey, we'll take you out of Cancun.
yeah.
I wanted the event to be non-biased. I don't care what products you use. I just care that you have a fire for the industry. And so we're doing an awards banquet too, which in my area, there's a lot of guys that are they're married to one brand. Maybe they're
Mhm,
married to Unilock or Techoblock or Belgard, whatever. To me, I think every brand has their own awesome products, and I like to mix and match. I call them mutt jobs. And you're never going to make it into a Unilock catalog or a Techoblock
mm,
catalog because you have four different brands of products. But I'm like, let's create something where guys can win an award for just an awesome project, right? Uh, and so that's one thing that I had really envisioned was let's do best walkway, but you can mix and match four different brands if you wanted to. You don't have to, but let's give everybody the opportunity to win awards that where you're ineligible to win awards in these other areas. And so, like I said, non-biased, and I felt like for this event to be truly non-biased, it had to be started by probably a contractor,
yeah.
because it can't be a manufacturer, it can't be a different brand because otherwise they're not going to allow competition in. To us, we're going to take everybody that wants to be involved, and it's going to be better for the industry. So that's what I'm really excited about.
I love it. So, how would you define success for this? When it's all done, you stand there with your wife, you look at this amazing accomplishment. What needs to happen in order for you to say that was totally worth it?
I think when I first envisioned this event, I'm like, let's just get the right speakers in place. It's my job to sell the vision ultimately to them because it's never been done before. And so I guess stepping away and knowing that it was successful, I would say it's a really good question. You might have stopped me a little bit there. I would say, walking away and making sure that when our attendees are leaving, that they're excited for year two and they're
Mm,
excited for coming back. I don't want people to leave with a bad taste in their mouth. And that was one thing that was really hard for us too, is like, well, we wanted to try to keep the resort cost low, which that can be incredibly hard to do. That's another thing I've learned is it's really difficult. You try to go all these vacation places, and especially in the wintertime, it's peak season. So a lot of these places they jack up their prices.
yep.
And so to try to get a room where it's between $300 to $500 a night, which is kind of what I've learned is that secret spot for a lot of contractors. Like there's guys that I've talked to that are doing $5 million a year, and they're like, I'm not spending $800 a night on a room. And I said, I don't blame you, man. And
Mm,
so I wanted it to be a space for guys that are doing just getting started, and then maybe they did $100,000 in revenue, but
mm,
they can also make it. And then you got guys with maybe 10 million or $50 million in revenue, and they're all in the same room, and they can all bond and talk about,
yeah.
hey, here's where I'm at in my business. Here's where I'm at in my business. What would you do if you were me? And I think even some of these spots where these veterans can be learning something new,
Oh
whether it's
yeah.
technology,
Hmm.
I think there's something to be learned for everybody, no matter what phase of your business that you're at. So that's what's something I'm really excited about. But for people to be able to walk away from the event and be like, okay, I have to go to this thing next year. I'm already making time for this thing next year, and we're already excited for next year because we know we're going to be going next year. That's really what I think will be successful with this event and is going to make it successful for years to come. So,
I love it. I love it, dude. I love your heart. I love where your head's at. I love that you're doing it for the industry because this is something different. It isn't sitting on bleachers and watch somebody assemble like an outdoor kitchen block by block. Like this is
yeah,
sitting down and getting close to people and really finding out what drives them and what they've learned and the mistakes they've made and all that stuff. So it's
yeah,
so good. So for the listeners that may not know, can you tell us about the venue itself and the dates and where they can
yep.
find you, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so we actually went this past March and we resort hopped and we were trying to find the right resort. So that was a lot of
Mm,
fun. We're looking forward to that every year. But we had to find a spot that obviously we could host the event. Room prices weren't crazy, but also I wanted to be somewhat close to the airport, so it was
mhm,
easy for people. We didn't want it to be too far from the airport where people felt uncomfortable. Um, that was the main thing. The resort, it's the JW Marriott Cancun, so it is 15 minutes from the airport, and so that was really easy for us. I think a lot of people had been to Cancun, so that's why we
mhm,
wanted to start year one there. It's not like something a new place or a place that's kind of trending that a lot of people haven't been to, and it's really foreign to them,
mhm,
literally. But yeah, it to be an easy kind of first start, and then eventually, I could see us jump to the Bahamas and then Aruba. But
mhm,
that
mhm,
comes down to us finding the right resort for that in the future. But the dates February 18th to the 21st. So I tried to look at all these other events going on. The only other one that's going on is the International Builders Show, which we missed that one. But I think it's not World of Concrete. What's the other one in Vegas? There's another one in Vegas in March that we were trying to avoid as well. But you every this is the busy season for a lot of shows and things like that, and so it's really hard to hone in on a date that nothing else is going on. And so we had set up on that, but you're also kind of at the mercy of the resort as well, like what
yeah,
dates they have available. And so I really wanted to be in February because I felt like February, it is technically in the new year, but it's right before the season starts for a lot of people. It's still pretty slow season for most of the country, unless you're, California, Texas, Florida. I'm sure that they just keep grinding. But for us, it's really a good time to sit back, reset, look at your systems, look at your
mhm,
goals, and what changes or what piece of equipment are you going to invest in to really, make it a successful season. And so I felt like February was really good. Plus, also I could maybe be a little biased here, but it's ridiculously cold where I'm at in
mm.
February. So I'm like, let's go south. And so,
Palm trees, baby. I love it.
yeah, yep, sand and palm trees and 80-degree weather. That sounds pretty nice when it's -20 back home. So,
Absolutely. And what's your website so people can come take a look?
yep. So our website is hardscapeparadise.net. You can check it out. You can check out the itinerary. You can see the dates. We did have a room block available that's expired. So I recommend that you can kind of price shop online for room prices. I think right now they're around $400 a night.
Mm,
Um, and you can either stay at the JW Marriott or there's a Marriott right next door as well. So attendees will have access to both of those hotels and actually can use both restaurants and use both pools. The regular Marriott has a lot of more activities for kids. They have like a water park and things like that. So you want to send the wife over with the kids and go to the water park, or if you want to leave the kids at home and the wife's by the pool, or maybe you want to come solo. We wanted to leave that up to our attendees, and really for our first year, it was to see who's bringing kids, who's bringing crew members.
Yeah.
That way we can really hone in on year 2 and set that up for success and see what decisions were made as far as who's bringing what and who's bringing who and going from there.
I love it, dude. I love it, man. So yeah, I'm excited. So listeners, if you want a place to get away, it's a tax write-off that is in a couple of weeks from now. I'm going to get this right up, so it should be up next week here. So still be some time.
Less than a month away. Less than a month away. So.
Do you have a hard deadline for when you can't take any new people?
Right now, no. We're keeping it open until sign up, but I think a lot of people they're realizing, oh, I need a passport for this. That was another common question. Do we need a passport for this?
You're going to Mexico.
You're going to Mexico. You're going out of the country.
Yeah.
It might be a hard time. Well, a lot of the airlines, they require you to have your passport to even book your flights, so that helps. Yeah. But you can still get your passports. I know, like, we put a rush order on my daughters. This was when we were leaving in March, and we had our passports in like 2 weeks. Now, I'm not going to guarantee you that, but it is possible. You can still get your passports if you book soon, and you can still get your rooms, and we always got room at the event. So we're trying to get as many butts and seats as possible, so we can have a successful event. But like I said, right now we're at 23 companies from all over the United States and Canada. So we're really excited. It's such a broad range. I have another guy from my home state that's going to be coming, so we're excited about that. But I think every year we're going to be able to grow this thing and have a great time doing it. So
I love it. And you don't know this yet, but this is the event that I'm going to launch my book. That book's officially going to launch at your event. So everything's been done. We just got everything up and getting it published now. So
great.
It'll be the official launch for the Core 10 sales playbook. So I'm super excited to share it with everybody.
Give a couple books away.
Oh yeah, we'll make sure we get take care of people. Right. So guys, if you're listening and you want to come and be part of that and get a book and be able to sit down and talk and those kinds of things and figure out how to better communicate with your customers, so you can increase your closing rate and you can build better relationships. We need more referrals and more money and more freedom, all that good stuff. Come sit down with us. That's what we're going to be here for.
Awesome. Yep. Sit by the pool, sit in chair. It doesn't really matter. So we can all go out to eat, get something for supper, or go get some drinks or whatever we want to do. So that's really what I wanted this event to be. But no, that's really exciting. Excited for you for that book. That's pretty cool.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you coming on today and sharing everything and sharing your heart here. And I know it's not easy to do what you're doing, but you did it. You're doing it, and you're going to change the industry with it. And there's going to be connections and relationships built at this event that are going to last a lifetime. That's the coolest thing I've noticed with events. It's like you see the two most unlikely people sit next to each other somewhere, and all of a sudden they have something that they both share in common. Maybe it's a struggle, maybe it's a something. And the next thing you know, they're exchanging phone numbers. They're at each other's kids' christenings. It's like it's birthday parties. It's wild how that works, and it's such a beautiful blessing to be part of that. That ethos, if you will, and building those relationships, because there's nothing better than to help people, right?
Exactly. And that was another thing I was going to touch on is like different contractors from all over the parts of the country, they have different problems. And like I was talking to guys at Hardscape North America when we had a booth there trying to get Hardscape Paradise off. And they're like, man, it's the pricing's crazy down here. Like everyone, it's just a race to the bottom. And, talking with them, like, well, what is a square foot going for pavers? Not that you need to price it that way, but I'm just asking and to hear some of the numbers that they're spitting out, like $8-12, I'm just like, oh my goodness. Like I can't even, I'd be out of business, by now. Yeah. So it's just crazy to talk with a guy from Florida, to a guy from the Northeast, and even guys in Texas, and just seeing what their different problems are. Yeah. For us, it's the weather. We slow down for 2-3 months. And it's almost like the spigot just gets turned off. But you have to figure out how you're going to continue to sell when there's 12 inches of snow on the ground. I mean, I think if you can sell landscape jobs and sell that vision and hardscape jobs, and if you can sell a 6-figure project in the middle of winter, I think you're doing okay. I think you got something figured out. And so just to be able to chat with guys throughout the industry and bounce those problems off each other. Well, here's how I solve that problem. Whether it's an employee problem, a marketing problem, a lead. I think that there's something that everybody can help each other out with. And so, super pumped about it. Super pumped.
Excellent.
I just keep talking about it, but we're going to be about it here in a couple of weeks. So we're really excited. So.
Awesome. So listeners, if you want to get on board, You go to hardscapeparadise.net. You'll have all
That's
your
right.
information there. If you have any questions, you can reach out to Tanner. He's very good answering your questions and all that. And
Yep.
hope to see you there. I'm really excited to meet these guys and to be able to have an opportunity to learn and to teach and to do all those things. So yeah, very good.
Yeah. If you guys want to reach out to me too, you can reach out to any of our social media platforms. We have Facebook, Instagram. You can actually reach out through our website as well, and we can get all those answers answered for you. So, or questions
Awesome.
answered for you. So,
Appreciate it.
yeah, we'd love to have
Awesome.
everybody there. Make it an industry event that we can all look forward to. So, I appreciate your time today, Joshua, and look forward to that book down in Mexico. So,
Yeah, baby. All right. Well, I appreciate you, sir. And
no
guys, we'll
problem.
talk next time.
Thank you.